Hi everybody, I am the one girlie and thank you for tuning into this video. Today I am jumping through a topic that is probably familiar to a lot of you. Have you ever wondered, where did all my friends go? We've all been there, questioning why it feels so much harder to maintain friendships as adults. In my earlier 20s, I had a large group of friends. And then as I got further into my mid-20s, I'm 24 right now, gonna turn 25 this year, I feel like they just all disappeared. And I still have a few friends, obviously better, good quality friends, which is very important, and I'll touch on that throughout this video. But you know what? As kids, it was easy. You had a set routine, you would have school activities, you would have people that you'd see on a regular basis. You saw friends every day. You didn't even have to think about it. But as adults, things changed very suddenly. Life feels like it's pulling people in a bunch of different directions. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about, I learned in this book called The Let Them Theory, which kind of touches on adult friendships and why they fade. So I'm kind of referencing that book along with my own thoughts as well. So just to let you know, and let's go from there. You know what, too? As an adult, your life gets so busy, and we all feel that. If you're a regular person working a full-time job like me, it gets chaotic. And honestly, it's even hard to find time to film videos like this. I usually do it in the evenings, or if I have a day off work. So your life becomes busy. You have work, for one. You have family, and then you have errands to run, like groceries and all this other sort of nonsense. It's so much. The list goes on. And your friends? Well, they're no longer right there with you. Easily accessible, right? A big shift in the friendships you once had. Those regular hangouts, they're not as simple as they used to be. I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what you can do about it, okay? It starts with making time. As an adult, friendships, I'm sorry, they won't just happen on their own anymore, and I had to learn this the hard way. I get really upset if somebody didn't reciprocate the same feelings as I had, but honestly, you have to be intentional about it, and you have to follow some steps in order to make things work. And sometimes you just don't jive with the right people either, right? But let me explain the steps to how to navigate this change. Step 1, schedule time with your friends. No more waiting for them to respond. If you want to have a relationship with this person, you also need to reach out. Life's busy, and your calendar fills up really fast. And if you want to see your friends, you have to put them on your calendar. I do this every week. I schedule everything that I have, usually on my phone calendar, and I also have a whiteboard calendar as well, just to help with scheduling and keeping my life not chaotic. And friends are important to schedule as well. It's not like we can just schedule a hangout at recess at school, right? These people live in different places and also have different priorities, which might, I hate to say it, they might overtake you as a person. They might be looking after their children, they might be looking after their family, or even just doing something else. But you have to put them on your calendar, just like you would like a work meeting or family events or other events, whether it's a coffee date or even a weekend trip or even a phone call, honestly. Make that time a priority for you, and if they don't reciprocate, then maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe there's things, maybe they don't quite understand how to navigate it either. Talk to them about it, right? Make sure that communications are clear. Make sure that scheduling things is clear as well. Let's be real. It's easy to get stuck in that social media scroll, right? Seeing all your friends' updates, but that doesn't count as real connection. And I also had to learn this the hard way as well. Because in-person connection is a lot different from texting connections or social media connections. They're not necessarily as authentic, at least I find. Some people might feel differently. However, you need to make time for those in-person connections. And also, the second step of this, step 2, as I touched on before, is you need to reach out. Don't wait for your friends to message you first, because I had this mindset for a long time that, oh, they're not reaching out to me because they don't like me, or just silly things like that. And you have to communicate with people that you talk to. You have to effectively communicate. And what I mean by this is you also have to reach out to them. And sometimes it's a small gesture that just makes the difference. They might be going through something maybe they're not comfortable talking about. They might just be overwhelmed with everything going on. The world's really overwhelming. So definitely just have a connection with them, reach out to your friends, and send that text. Pick up the phone or make a quick call. People get busy, but the check-ins show that you care, all right? That you love your friend and that you care for them. And if they don't reciprocate back to it, if they leave you on red, then maybe they don't. And honestly, that's on them too, because you did reach out to them. So this is a really simple step, but it makes all the difference. Step 3 is to use technology to your advantage though as well. Life happens and sometimes you can't meet in person. For example, if something came up really quickly, you could always give your friend a call and say, hey, I had this emergency going on, I can't make it today. And sometimes, honestly, life happens and sometimes you can't meet in person. Don't let it stop you. Have a video call or voice notes or even texting just to stay connected a little bit, as long as the other person reciprocates. You don't have to be necessarily physically together to maintain a friendship, but physically being together helps with your friendship. Even if it's every once in a while, even if your friends don't live nearby, staying in touch is still possible. And technology bridges that distance, which is a good and a bad thing, right? Social media also makes it easier than ever to check in on your friends you might not see regularly, but this can be a double-edged sword. You don't want to be stalking your friends and then being like, why aren't they responding to me? Honestly, I just kind of disregard that as communication, social media posts as communication. Usually I will text my friends, or I'll give them a voice memo, or I'll see them in person. Those are the 3 things I do personally. Now we need to talk about, unfortunately, work. Most adults spend a huge chunk of their lives at work. And chances are, you're seeing your coworkers more than your friends or family, especially if you're working a full-time job, like me. I read in the book, The Let Them Theory. This was in I think it was chapter 8 to 9, and she basically said, and I didn't know this, did you know that from the ages of 21 to 60, you'll spend more time with your coworkers than with all of your family and friends combined? I did not. But here's the thing. Most of those coworkers that you have also are at different stages of their life. And while you may be close to a colleague at work, it doesn't replace that deep connection outside the office. For example, I work in an office environment as well. Most of my colleagues are probably between the age of 30 to 50, I think. And because of me being in the younger end of this age range, it can be hard to sometimes connect, right? It can be hard to find that connection with somebody in that work environment. So if you're asking, why don't people make friends at work or make friends, it's because of this reason. It can be hard to connect with people. Now, step 4, we're moving on to step 4. This is a must. You have to be flexible and adaptable. As you grow, your friendships may evolve as well, right? People's lives change, people move away, some have families even, or some get caught up in careers or different paths. With the right mindset, you can stay connected to people that you once saw all the time, even if you don't see each other all the time anymore. And I can tell you recently, I connected with a friend who I was friends with in pretty much elementary school to high school. And unfortunately, our friendship kind of faded because I moved away to basically a different place, far away, 20 hours away. And when you move to, things fade a little bit as well. So I lost that connection. However, when I moved back to the area that he was close to, this is on him. We were talking for a little bit, and I told him I moved back, and he was like, oh, do you want to hang out sometime? And that was really awesome that he felt comfortable, even after years, probably like 10 years, not seeing me or anything like that. And we just chilled. It was just me and him and his girlfriend, and we just had a nice time. Adult friendships, they come and go. And the key is flexibility. Life isn't predictable, and sometimes people drift apart, which is okay. But with effort and understanding, with certain people, you can stay close even through the changes, right? Here's something I also learned in this book, The Let Them Theory. Here's something important to remember. If you take anything away from this video, it takes time to build a close friendship. And on average, it takes 200 hours of interaction to become close friends with somebody. That's a lot of time. I don't even remember the last time I spent 200 hours with myself. Honestly, that's a lot of time. And as adults, we don't have endless hours to spend like when we were kids, and we didn't have to do grocery shopping or errands. We didn't have to look after families or other priorities. But if you think about it, each little conversation and each hangout, each check-in, it's an investment in that friendship. You can build up those hours over time. It just might take a little more effort than it used to, and that's why a lot of people, it's hard to deal with the sudden change from childhood friendships to adult friendships. I think most people would agree, you don't have to pull out these grand gestures in relationships. Little moments of connection add up over time, and those moments build that foundation of lasting friendships. And the truth is, adult friendships take work, and I didn't realize that when I was experiencing the change going from childhood friends, college friends, into adult friendships. Because it's in the first two, you always have this social setting where you guys show up to class all the time, or you hang out at recess all the time. Whereas the only option for most people to do that is if they go to a group, or if they do it from work. And sometimes that's not really the vibe for people. But you know what? The truth is, they do require planning, effort, and sometimes compromise, but the reward is worth it. And true friendships are honestly priceless. It's the quality over the quantity of people that you have. Adult friendships may look different than what they did when you were a kid, but they're still worth it. Stay connected. Make the effort and be flexible. It'll benefit your mental health, I promise. Please take that from me. At the end of the day, adult friendships are one of the best parts of your life, and make the time, keep the friendships, and don't let life get in the way, especially things like work, they'll replace you at any time. And you need to also keep priority on the things that matter, right? And that's a reminder to myself too, because sometimes I get caught up in work when things are really busy and whatnot, right? And then you get really stressed and just not having a good time. But the point is, just some final thoughts on this. Adult friendships, you need to have flexibility, and to keep them strong, you need to put in effort in order to keep these friendships and have them maintained for a while, right? And that's just how it is. If you enjoyed this video, and if you took away anything that was helpful to you, give this video a like. And I want to know below, what's your biggest challenge do you find in adult friendships? For me, I honestly find the biggest challenge for me in adult friendships is sometimes keeping in touch, because life gets very busy, and it does only take 2 seconds, but for some reason, I don't know. I would say reaching out, but honestly, I've gotten better at that over the past little bit. I've been trying to make a more consistent effort, and honestly, I've been happier ever since. And I'm looking forward to spring and summer months where I'm able to hang out with friends more, instead of it being this icky, cold weather, seasonal depression vibe. And that's my main goal for this year, is to make a new friend, make a new quality friend, and just enjoy interactions with other people. As an introvert as well, it's also very hard to initiate conversation instead of hiding away in my little hole, right? So I would say that's the hardest part for me, but let me know below, what's the most challenging aspect of adult friendships for you? I'm interested because some people are more extroverted, so I'm interested to see what challenges are there, whereas I know some of the introverted challenges, but I'm curious from all different perspectives. Let me know. And if you like my face, I'm glad that you're here. Subscribe if you like me. I post videos every week. I usually post shorts almost every day. I don't know why, but I just really like shorts and other stuff. And look in the description if you want to follow me elsewhere. Otherwise, I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I really appreciate you watching, and I really appreciate if you give me some feedback as well. But if not, I just hope you enjoyed. Bye!